In the heart of America, there is a city shrouded in a persistent chilling fog. It's not a fog of weather, but one of uncertainty and unanswered questions. This city, with its gleaming skyscrapers, with its sprawling suburbs, holds a dark secret. For every story of success, written in its high-rises, there is another story that ends abruptly. Detectives stare at case files that grow thicker with time, but bring no resolution. Justice gets lost in the labyrinth of city streets. The question hangs heavy. Not just who, but why. Why do so many crimes here go unsolved? The statistics are staggering, painting a grim, inexplicable picture. In a nation worried about clearance rates, this city stands apart as an anomaly. Among the many faces that became haunting statistics was a young woman named Amelia Hayes. She was vibrant, a 24-year-old astronomy student with a passion for the cosmos. She spent her nights gazing at the stars from the rooftop of her modest apartment building, mapping constellations with infectious enthusiasm. She worked part-time at a quiet local bookstore, attended her university classes, and dedicated her evenings to her celestial hobby. Her social media was filled with pictures of nebulae, taken with her telescope, snapshots with friends at coffee shops, and proud posts about her academic achievements. Her world was small but full of light. It was a world that felt safe, insulated from the city's darker undercurrents. The day Amelia Hayes disappeared began like any other Tuesday. She finished her shift at the bookstore at 5 p.m. She sent a text message to her best friend Chloe at 5:14 p.m. It was a picture of a book about black holes with the caption, "Mind-blowing stuff. See you Thursday?" Chloe replied with a thumbs-up emoji a few minutes later. It was the last communication anyone ever had with Amelia Hayes. This digital evaporation was the first truly chilling element for investigators. It wasn't just a lack of clues, it was an unnatural absence of them. Amelia's stream had been damned with unnerving precision. This suggested the involvement of a threat that was technologically savvy. The unseen threat was revealing its sophisticated nature. With Amelia's disappearance officially a high-priority case, a wave of fear washed over the city. Her face was suddenly everywhere. Her story transformed the city's vague anxiety into sharp, specific terror. The question on everyone's mind was terrifyingly simple. If it could happen to her, it could happen to anyone. The city's atmosphere grew heavy with suspicion. People started looking at strangers with a flicker of distrust. Neighborhood watch groups saw a surge in membership. Sales of pepper spray and personal safety alarms spiked. The routes people walked home from work were reevaluated and changed. Everyone felt hunted, even though they couldn't name the hunter. It was a modern predator for a modern metropolis. One that knew how to become invisible. The analyst, Kenji Tanaka, had been systematically re-examining Amelia's digital footprint. He was looking for something everyone else had missed. It was in this digital haystack that he found a needle, a tiny, anomalous echo in the signal. At 5:29 p.m., 2 minutes after it supposedly went offline, the phone had attempted a microsecond-long handshake with a private, password-protected Wi-Fi network. The network belonged to a commercial building 2 blocks away from her last known location. A direction she had no reason to go. It was a digital ghost, an impossible echo from a device that was supposed to be silent. This single data point changed everything. The case was no longer cold, it was suddenly intensely hot. The hunt was no longer for a ghost, but for the owner of a hidden network. Hidden in the van's ventilation system, technicians found microscopic fibers. Under an electron microscope they revealed a unique composition, industrial-grade nylon. Anti-static polymers, designed for environments where static could damage sensitive electronics. The kind of specialized flooring found in a server room or data center. The connection was immediate. Under the guise of a late-night fire inspection, a small forensic team gained access for under an hour. One sample came from the custom slate-gray carpet in the main server room. Back at the lab, analysis was swift. The carpet fibers were a perfect match. This tiny thread became the linchpin, proving a victim had been transported in that specific van. Armed with digital and physical evidence, the team turned to the city's vast network of CCTV cameras, looking not for dramatic events, but for recurring, mundane presence. An analyst noticed a pattern, a specific model of dark sedan, unremarkable in every way. But this car appeared like clockwork. It would pass heading toward the office building late in the evening, and pass again heading away in pre-dawn hours. The license plate was blurry, but they isolated a few clear frames. It was registered to Elias Vance, the sole owner and operator of the data storage company. The name was finally attached to the ghost. For a single second, reflected in a passing bus window, was the dark sedan. Elias Vance had been there, stalking, waiting for the precise moment to strike. The raid on Elias Vance's data storage company was quiet and swift. It took place in the muted light of dawn, a stark contrast to the years of darkness he had imposed. When confronted, Vance was eerily calm, his composure betraying deep-seated arrogance. He believed he had constructed the perfect crime. He had underestimated the relentless patience of forensic science and the tiny, indelible traces that both physical and virtual worlds retain. Kenji Tanaka testified about the phantom Wi-Fi ping and fragmented data packets, explaining how he had uncovered a digital graveyard on Vance's servers. The prosecution argued that Vance was a predator of a new age, one who saw people as data points to be collected and then deleted. The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours. They found Elias Vance guilty on all counts, including the kidnapping and murder of Amelia Hayes and 4 other individuals. The case served as a terrifying wake-up call. The city council approved a massive budget increase for the police department's digital forensics unit. New training protocols were implemented, teaching every officer the basics of preserving and identifying digital evidence at crime scenes. A citywide initiative overhauled public surveillance infrastructure, focusing on smarter, more integrated camera networks and eliminating surveillance gaps. The most profound legacy is the tribute paid to the victims. Amelia Hayes became a symbol of lost innocence and newfound resolve. A scholarship in her name supports young women pursuing degrees in science and technology, turning tragedy into opportunity. Parks were named after other victims, turning public spaces into quiet remembrance, promising the lost will not be forgotten. The resolution calls for perpetual vigilance and constant adaptation. Justice now requires looking deeper, past the obvious, and into unseen evidence. In the end, justice can follow even the faintest of breadcrumbs, whether they are made of fiber or of code. The city watches, it learns, and it remembers, determined never again to let a ghost haunt its streets unanswered.